Today we're going to be talking about data analysis and how quality data leads to quality analysis. This is really the last step in our focused assessment and instruction cycle we've been talking about. So you've got your instruction, which are aligned to the assessments, which are aligned to the targets, which are derived from standards. So you've given your formative or summative assessment, you have your data, and how do you use that data to inform your instruction? More importantly, how can students use the data? We're going to talk about that at a later date. Today we're going to talk about how do we organize our data to inform instruction. Can't have good analysis unless you have good data. Traditional data analysis, overall test results, class averages, item analysis if you use Scantron, those are traditionally sources of data. But how useful are they in telling you what students know and are able to do specifically? Well, we're going to talk about 3 steps for analysis of assessment data that's going to help you get better data so you can do better analysis and actually focus in and hone on those targets that kids are doing well on and not doing well on. So step 1, you first have to have your assessments aligned to targets, which we have been working on already. So each question should be clearly aligned to a target. Let me show you an example. So here's a target. It's about population growth graphs. If you look, there's population growth graphs. It's labeled 2A on the target, labeled 2A on the test, and making sure that that question actually does what the target says the students will be able to do. So make sure you have them aligned first. Step 2, give the assessment, organize the data by learning target. That's the key. Somehow get that together. Item analysis sheets are going to help you with that. Now again, this is going to help you track learning for student growth later on, but get the data broken down by learning target. That's going to help you see what kids know and can do. So that's where step 3 comes in. Analyze how students did on each question. Did over 50% of the students miss the question? 50% is just an arbitrary number I picked. If so, then you look at the distractors or the answer choices. You discuss instructional strategies. What worked, what didn't. That's really what a PLC does. Looking at that data and figuring out what worked and what didn't. So what now? Don't stress. I just want you to discuss 3 things. What data do you have now? How can you make it useful to track student progress on learning targets? In other words, how can you reorganize it to get better data for better analysis? And how can you apply this to tracking student growth? Because that's what you're going to have to do eventually. Discuss those 3 things. Then for the rest of the time, you can do any of these things, which we have been working on all semester, or actually all year long. So discuss those 3 questions. Make sure you're doing some of those things, and we will be around to answer any questions.